I was out walking in the forest today, just taking a hike. I didn't record anything, but I had my gear with me. And I was thinking about something. Is it possible to use a mobile gimbal like the OM7P with an action camera, mounting it to the mobile bracket that you have, and see if it's possible to track yourself using the tracking module that you have on the OM7P. This is a tracking module you have to buy separately, I think, but I do think you get it exclusively with the OM7P Pro package. So we're going to test it, of course, mount this action camera to this mobile gimbal and see if it's possible to use the tracking module. And the reason I want to do it, because I'm often out hiking and trying to record myself in different angles, but it's always static shots where you are moving past the camera or away from the camera. But it would be really cool if it's possible to record yourself using a mobile gimbal like this one with a tracking module, and then you get more dynamic shots when you are moving. The camera is following you as you walk past. That would be really cool if it works. So we're going to test it, set it up together and see if it's possible. Yeah, you do get separate gimbals for your action camera, but you need two, maybe not. We just have to wait and see today if this actually works. The tracking module is really good on the OM7P, so I think it's possible to use it. Of course, you can use other cameras like the Pocket 3 to track you, but the tracking is much better on a mobile gimbal or the gimbal like this than you have on, especially on the Pocket 3. So we're going to test it and see how good the range is on the tracking module, and if it's possible to get some cool shots me walking around out in the forest. So let's set it up first, test it and see if it's actually are working, and then we're going to make some shots and see if it's looking cool. So let's begin the test. Let's set it up. When it comes to using the mobile gimbal with your action camera, you need to set it up first, of course, and that means mounting the action camera on the mobile clamp. Can be a little bit difficult, but it's possible. I tested it at home, but I haven't tested it if it actually works and if it's tracking me. I just want to do that out in real scenery like this with me walking around. So we're gonna start with attaching the action camera to this clamp, and then you need to have your action camera. I'm going to use the Action 5 Pro, which is the latest action camera from DJI, a fantastic action camera. I had some issues with it, but it's starting to grow on me. So you need to attach it, and you can't, like you see here, you can't attach it this way, it doesn't fit. So you have to mount it this direction like you're mounting a mobile device. So let's take off this clamp actually first. That's the easiest way to do it, and you need to test it and try it. I think that the gimbal will have no problem stabilizing the footage and stabilizing the camera. So like this, you can see I attach the mobile device like this, and it fits kind of nice. You don't have access to the power button here, but that doesn't matter. If you have quick capture on your device, you can just press the button here. Okay, and then you need to mount it to this clamp on the OM7P. It's quite simple, like that, and it's on. Let's test something now. We're going to turn on the gimbal, and it's pretty simple. Just take it up like this, and it's power on, and it's on, and it's actually nicely balanced. You can double tap just to center it, and triple tap, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, it's time to test if the tracking module, this one, actually works now, and if it's possible to track yourself. You can see on the side here you have the attachment for the module, and it's quite simple just to take it on, and it fits snugly on there like this, as you can see. So this is actually the Action 5 Pro mounted to a mobile gimbal like the OM7P. Yeah, you can buy separate gimbals for your mobile device, but if you have a mobile gimbal, it's quite possible it actually fits to your action camera like this. But it's time to see if the tracking actually works. And on the OM7P, it's quite simple. You just simply press once here, and the module actually turns on. As you can see, it is tracking me. It actually is tracking me. It's trying to hold me in frame. It's kind of silly. But let's see if it's possible to use this with me walking around. That's the fun test. So it's really, really cool, and it's tracking me. That's really, really cool. But let's test this. It's going to be fun to see. I set up the Action 5 Pro to the ON7P using the tracking module, and it's actually tracking me. It's pretty simple to use the tracking. You just tap the trigger button. If I press it once, it stops tracking me. If I'm moving now, it doesn't follow me at all. And it's kind of simple to use this gimbal actually, and I have it mounted on tripod, as you can see here, just to have it as steady as possible. And if you're gonna start tracking, you just pull the trigger behind here once, and you have a green light here, and now it's tracking me. So we're gonna do some tests, see if it's possible to get some moving shots. That's always nice, actually, using a gimbal like this, just to get some dynamic shots using a gimbal. Of course, you can use the action camera without any gimbal, but then you only have static shots, and you need to move your camera every time you're going to get a new angle. Now it's possible to create a really cool angle when you're walking. So let's test it and do some tests and see if it's actually are possible. So let's test this tracking actually, if it actually works. I have a tree here that's in the way for the tracking module. That can be an issue. I'm going to walk from over there, walk past the camera, and see if it can follow me and catch me again if it loses me. The issue you have with the ON7P is actually you only have 180-degree pan. There are other gimbal that has better panning up to 360 degree, like the Flow 2 Pro, which is a fantastic gimbal. I'm of course going to test that too, but not today. Today I'm going to have focus on the ON7P using the Action 5 Pro. But I'm going to start over there, walk past here, and see if it can follow me, even with obstacles in the way. So let's walk over here and see if it's possible for the camera to track me. So I'm standing around, I don't know, 10 meters from the camera. You can probably see me over here, and I'm going to walk that direction and see if the camera can follow me, and it seems to be tracking me, and that's excellent. So let's walk that direction and see if it's possible to track me. There are three in the way, and it's catching me, and I'm walking this direction. You can talk and point at things, but this is a great way to create content without having a film crew. You can just sit the camera down on a tripod using a gimbal with a tracking module, and it can actually track you. So this is actually fantastic that you can do this. And I'm using the DJI Mic 2 connected to the Action 5 Pro. So it's possible. It is. So I think you can create some really cool shots using a gimbal like this. So we're going to catch some more shots and see. I know there are limitations on this gimbal, but I do think it's important to try to be creative, to just try to create some dynamic shots and have it a little bit more exciting than the usual or normal things you usually do. And it's quite a lot of work when you're out recording yourself, putting a tripod down, creating a shot, moving past it, moving the camera again, and do that all over again. In this way you can actually get some really nice shots just moving, and the camera is following you like this. So I set the camera down another place now. I'm going to try to create a dynamic shot using the Action 5 Pro. Again, the limitations on the pan is quite annoying on the ON7P, but it is what it is. So you have to think about how you set the camera and just try to walk the path you're walking, just to see that the gimbal can track you, or since the range is a little bit limited on the panning on this camera. But now I think it's okay. I'm going to walk down here. You can see that the gimbal is actually tracking me down here. So I can walk past the gimbal and try to create a shot. So let's begin from here. That was no issue at all, it was panning. Let's walk another direction, like this, and it should follow me just fine. I can walk this direction up here, it should tracking me and hopefully see me all the time. And it seems to be doing that, so I can walk down again. No issue. So I do think this is a great way to create some cool shots using a gimbal, like the Osmo 7P that are meant for an action mobile device, but that's fine. Let's create the shot. No issue. Let's try something else. So let's create another shot, me walking in another direction. I put the gimbal down and frame myself like I want, and I'm going to start over here and walk past the camera, and you can see how it's tracking me and if it looks smooth and nice. So I'm going to walk down here and it seems to be tracking me. No issues at all. So let's begin from here and walk past it and see if it can track me walking in that direction. Let's begin. And it's tracking me. It looks really nice, no issues at all. And how is the reach? Let's try again. Walking this way, and it's tracking me all over here. Seems to be tracking me still, and it's tracking me so you can walk around and talk to the camera and show things. I do think this is a perfect way to create content in another way than you usually are doing. You can just walk around. The issues, like I said, is the pan on this camera and on this gimbal only 180 degrees, but you can walk like this and it's tracking you, and if it loses you, it picks you up again. No issues at all. So what do you think about this? Is this a great way to create content? Okay, my friends, I think it's time to wrap up the video, but what do you think? Is this a great way to create content and have some movement in your videos? Just walking around a camera, filming dynamic shots, movement in the shots. It looks way better, it looks cooler, but the most important thing is that the gimbal is smooth and the movements are natural. It feels like a person is holding a camera, panning it and following your movement. That's what's most important, using a gimbal to get smooth shots. You can calibrate the gimbal quite easy when you attach something to it, a mobile phone or an action camera. I know that you have gimbals that are meant for action camera, but if you can use the Osmo 7P, why not? It's possible, and I'm also of course going to do a comparison with this Osmo 7P versus the Flow 2 Pro, which actually has 360-degree pan. But this is cool, it's fun to test it and fun to see that it's possible to create something nice. Everything was filmed in 4K 30 today in D-Log. I'm still testing the Action 5 Pro and just want to see if I'm still happy with the image. But it's nice to see that this is possible. I think it's a great way to create content. It seems like somebody is following me and recording me while I'm moving around. But this creates a more exciting look, in my opinion. And the tracking module is fantastic. It is. It doesn't seem to have any issues. So why not test it? So what do you think? Is this something you will do? Have you thought about using your Osmo 7P with your action camera? It works, no issues at all. So thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumb up and of course subscribe to my channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.